Hello everyone, welcome to Global Online. In this lecture, we are going to see NTA UGC Net Paper 1, and in this lecture, we are going to discuss most expected MCQ on communication unit, and today we are going to discuss the MCQ on meaning, types and characteristic of communication. I have discussed each and every MCQ with a detailed explanation, so do watch this lecture to clear all your doubt about the same, and you will receive my lecture every day at 7 am. So do visit our channel every day at 7 in the morning and do watch my lecture to score more marks in the upcoming exam. So before we move forward, there is one announcement. The students who are preparing for UGC NET 2022 exam, we the Global Online is offering 2000 plus MCQ quick revision PDF. Students, there is very less time remaining for your exam, and this is a guaranteed PDF in which we are providing you current affair question with the detailed explanation plus PYQs with a detailed explanation, most expected MCQ and most repeated MCQ, which is really important for your upcoming exam. This PDF will help you to revise all the topic in detail. To get the PDF, please contact on given number. Do WhatsApp message here, okay? And the PDF is available just for rupees 599. So do message here and get the PDF and start your preparation. Non-verbal communication is mostly, so here in this question they ask you about a non-verbal communication, for which the first option is mechanical, second one is organic, third one is unconstructed, and the last one is construct. The process where the people exchange the thought and the idea with each other verbally and non-verbally is described as the communication. Okay, and as we said, there are two types of communication, that is a verbal and a non-verbal communication. So here the verbal means the use of words in the communication process and in the design and the formulation of the messages, and therefore it is a structure. Okay, so here the verbal communication is a structured. It includes a face-to-face conversation, speech, telephonic conversation, video, radio, television, and a voice over the internet. In the written communication, the written signs and the symbols, both in the printed or a handwritten, from the to be used. Okay, the picture graphs are used for a complement and a written test. Now, when we talk about a non-verbal communication, the messages are transmitted without a word, and it is all about the body language, how we are going to use our body language. That's come under the non-verbal communication. Okay, and it does not make a use of the word. The communication such as a body gesture, eye contact, body language, posture, tone of voice, and a facial expression, all this called a non-verbal communication. Now, as we said, the verbal communication is called a structured communication. Opposite to that, the non-verbal communication is called a unstructured communication, okay, or a non-structured communication. So here the correct answer for this question is option number 3, that is unstructured. According to communication research findings, some amount of gossip is necessary for. So here in this question, they ask you, according to communication research finding, some amount of gossip is necessary for what? For which the first option is pro-social motivation, second one is prevention of distortion, third one is extending communication range, and the last one is relocation of emotional affiliation. So here the communication is two types, that is formal and informal. Okay, there is a formal communication and there is a informal communication. Okay, so the formal communication are those that goes through the established channel inside the organization, and the informal communication refer to the type of a communication that travel freely through the organization and flow into the in all the direction. The four different stages under the informal communication are single straight network, then is a probability network, cluster network, and a gossip network. Now here the gossip has been touched, a low cost but effective information gathering method. that it has been mostly been shown to the successful way to encourage and preserve cooperation. Okay. So here the correct answer for this question is option number 1, that is pro-social motivation. What is the AIDA marketing communication stand for? So here in this question they ask you the full form of AIDA, for which the first option is attraction, information, development, application. Second one is attention, information, dialogue, action. Fourth one is attention, interest, desire and action. And the last one is attitude, inspiration, desire, action. Okay. So AIDA is developed in year 1898 and the full form for the same is attention, interest, desire and action. Okay, the AIDA model was widely used in the marketing and advertising. It is used in marketing and in advertising to describe the step or stages that occur from the very first moment a consumer aware of the product or a brand to the usual moment of purchase is made. So here the correct answer for this question is option number 3, that is AIDA stand for attention, interest, desire, action. Identify the technical term used to describe body language from the following. So here they given you 4 options and they told you to identify the technical term which are used to describe the body language. Okay, for which the first option is proxemics, second one is chronemics, third one is kinesics and the last one is haptic. The term communication is derived from the Latin communis, means to share, and it is an activity of conveying the information through the exchange of a thought, message or the information through the speech, visual signals, writing or the behavior. The communication is broadly classified into verbal and non-verbal. So here the verbal where we can use the oral language and the non-verbal means where we can use the body language or different symbols. Okay. Now here the non-verbal also include the appearance, the facial expression, the body language and the kinesics. Okay. So here the correct answer for this question is option number 3. What of the following is considered as an effective form of verbal communication? So here in this question they ask you, given which of the following is considered as an effective form of verbal communication, for which the first option is storytelling, second one is sloganeering, third one is use of high pitch of voice and the last one is monologues. So here the communication is derived from the Latin word that is a communicare, which means to share. The communication is passing the information or telling the idea from one person to another. Communication consists of 3 things: encoding, transfer and decoding. And there are 2 persons, one is a sender and one is a receiver. Okay, a sender decode the message, the channel transfer to it receiver, and the receiver decode the message. The communication is a 2 type based on the communication channel. There is a verbal communication and a non-verbal communication. So here the storytelling means the option 1 is considered as an effective form of verbal communication. Which of the following is the characteristic of interpersonal communication? So here in this question they ask you, given which of the following is considered as the characteristic of interpersonal communication, for which the first option is it is both focused and unfocused, second one is it is not participation friendly, third one is it is philosophical and the last one is it is metaphorical. Okay. So, as we said, the communication is a two-way process in which participants not only exchange the idea and the information but also share the mutual understanding, and it has to take into the consideration the idea of mutuality and commonness, the exchange, the shared environment, the social relationship among the participants, and the existence of a common needs, urge, aim, and a goal. The interpersonal communication, it is a direct, participatory or a face-to-face communication between the two people. And it is a personal, intimate and allow to maximum interaction. The exchange in the word and a gesture, it requires certain skill to interact effectively with others, such as a knowledge of social norms, willingness to listen and respect for the another person. For example, talking to your friend or a family, teacher or the student interaction. Okay, whenever we are talking to our teacher, there should be a respect, right? We are giving respect to our teacher. So that is coming under the interpersonal communication. Okay. So here the interpersonal communication is both focused and unfocused. So option 1 is the correct here. Which of the following exclusive example of non-verbal clues that include the pitch, rate, volume and the use of pauses? So here in this question they ask you given which is an exclusive example of non-verbal clues that include the pitch, rate, volume and the use of pauses, for which the first option is linear model of communication, second one is interactional model, third one is non-verbal clues and the last one is paralanguage. Okay, so the non-verbal communication is a transmission of a message or a signals through the non-verbal platform such as the eye contact, where we are not using the language or where we are not using any words. So here the paralanguage can be defined as a broad range of vocal characteristic that help in variety of expression and reflect back on the speaker attitude. It is a highly non-verbal in the nature and depend on the vocal aspect like a voice, pitch, pause or a volume. Okay. So all these things are coming under the paralanguage. The different aspect of a paralanguage are as a the facial expression is coming under the paralanguage. Then is there the eye contact is there, expressive movement is there, silence is there, notation is there, pitch is there. All these things are coming under the paralanguage. Okay. So here the correct answer for this question will be option number 4. Okay, that is a paralanguage. Diagonal communication is. So here in this question they ask you about the diagonal communication, for which the first option here is latent, second one is aggressive, third one is cross functional and the last one is non functional. Okay, the pattern of communication are called flow and they are commonly classified according to the direction of interaction. Okay, that is a downward, upward, horizontal, diagonal and external. Okay, so the term diagonal communication refer to the multi-directional communication. It refer to the multi-directional communication that include the horizontal, upward and downward approaches. It is a cross-functional communication between the personnel at the various level of the organization. Diagonal communication is a type of a communication that combines vertical and horizontal elements. So here the correct answer for this question is option number 3. Diagonal communication is cross-functional. Chatting on WhatsApp is an example of. So here in this question they ask you about chatting on WhatsApp is an example of, for which the first option is synchronism communication. Second one is asynchronism communication. Third one is non-verbal communication. And last one is friendly communication. The simple sense, whenever you have a participate in the conference call or any other calls or a video conference, is a synchronized communication. A synchronized communication is a occur when the two or more parties communicate in a real time. The term used to describe the communication between the two or more people that occur at the same time. Okay, it is distinguished by the presence of all the communicated in the communication process at the same time, through not necessary in the same place. Okay, the example of a synchronized electronic communication are a telephone conversation, that is the WhatsApp conversation is included here. The software such as a Telegram is also included here. WeChat is also included in this. Okay, so the answer here for this question will be option number 1, that is synchronized communication. Which of the following group as the component of paralanguage communication? So here in this question they ask you, in given which of the following group as the component of paralanguage communication, for which the first option is voice, emphasis and impression. Second one is social space, voice and impression. Third one is voice, social space and expression. And the last one is emphasis, social space and voice. So communication is defined as a process of passing the information and understanding from the one person to the another. Okay, so here the communication is divided into the two types, that is a verbal and a non-verbal communication, and 8 different types of non-verbal communication is there. That is a social space is there, then is time is there, physical characteristics are there, body movement is there, touch is there, paralanguage is there, artifact is there and environment is there. Okay, voice, emphasis and impression is the correct answer for this question. Communication goes between. So here in this question they ask you about the communication goes between, for which the first option is sender and receiver. Second one is computer and mobile. Third one is teacher and student. And the last one is animal and bird. Communication is defined as a exchange of our thoughts, our ideas, then the motions with the someone or other, either to satisfy our physical, emotional or other needs, or to get the work done. It is obvious that the communication is a integral part of one's life. In fact, the society cannot survive in the absence of the communication. So here we say the communication goes between sender and a receiver. Communication begins usually with. So here in this question they ask you, communication begins usually with what? For which the first option is confused idea. Second one is semantic noise. Third one is apprehension. And last one is picture in the mind. So the beginning of the communication occur when the sender express an emotion or a feeling, create an idea or a sense, the need to communicate. The communication process is triggered when the sender make a conscious or a unconscious decision to share the message with the another, or we can say to the receiver. Okay, the communication process refer to the series of action or a step taken in order to successfully communicate. It involves several components such as a sender of the communication, the actual message is being sent, the encoding of the message, the receiver and a decoding of the message. Now here the encoding is a refer to the process of taking an idea or a mental image, associating that image with the word, and then speaking those words in order to convey the message. So if I want to explain to my any friend the direction to a new apartment or anywhere, I will picture in my mind the landscape, the street, the buildings, and then I will select the best word that describe the route so my friend will understand it. Okay. So the answer here is option number 4, that is picture in mind.